A second. Okay, here we are. Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday night, and it is that time of the week for Practical Pivot. This is episode 5. I'm your host, Sean Flack 2.0, and with me via satellite, via Hangouts, is my boy Mike.
What's up? What's up? How's
Uh,
everybody?
yeah. So, in this evening's episode, Mike brought up a really good topic, really good question. Um, let's see here. If today was your last day on Earth, would you be happy with your life and what you accomplished? This one kind of went deep because I really like this one because of the second part. Is if you could, what message would you leave for your children?
Yeah.
So before we get into the episode, just an update on the week. For me, it was work again. Surprise, surprise. Nothing crazy going on. The kids are sick. So just living that dad life. They're bringing home all sorts of strains of the flu. So luckily we're via satellite. Otherwise, I'd probably get Mike sick. So luckily, he don't got to suffer through that. What about you, Mike? What's been going on for the week for you?
Man, I'm not even gonna go into the whole work thing because it'll take up too much time. I'm serious, man. Today was
Okay.
not what's up. But other than that, I'm making progress with some other things, some stuff that we had discussed.
Oh
So
man.
just
Yeah.
trying to stay focused and just keep making steps forward, no matter how small they are. Just keep making them. So yeah,
Okay.
things are looking up though.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. So that's what's going on for us for the week. Again, we are average guys. We're not like no super duper whatever. We're just average working people that are trying to make those practical pivots in our life and move forward with it. Basically have a better quality of life. Speaking of that, we're gonna go right into this episode. Again, Mike brought it up. I'm gonna go ahead and start it off. So, Mike, just real quick, go ahead and roll with that question one more time, so I can think about it while you're talking while you're asking me.
Okay, so it's two parts.
Okay.
First part is, if today was your last day alive, would you be happy with your life and what you've accomplished? And the second part of that is, if you could, what message would you leave your kids?
Okay. So this is actually something I have been working on, especially that second part. To answer the question directly, yes, I am. I am actually real happy with what I accomplished. And I don't have a perfect life at all. Like by far, we probably have more downs than we have ups. But during this last Thanksgiving, we're going around the table and we're talking about being thankful. And the one thing that I was thankful for was my problems. Um, so regardless if I have ups or downs or whatever, that's just life doing its thing to us. I'm grateful for my problems because I know that some of my problems, or maybe all of them, are somebody's dream. Like they wish they could have that problem. So, what I've done, I started off as if we're talking about professionally, I flipped burgers. That was my first job, and right now I'm a supervisor at my job, and of course it's not flipping burgers, but but what I've accomplished professionally, I feel I was focused on what I wanted to do and what I wanted out of a career, and I'm where I want to be right now. Of course, I want more from it, and I want more out of life. But professionally, I'm very proud of my accomplishments. As far as like life goes and things that I've done, like family and stuff like that, I still want to say I'm happy. Even again we have I got sick babies, but there's other things going on. I got a teenager as well, and he's causing the headache. But at the same time, I look at my problems and I say, you know what, I'm here. My hard work put me here, and I can say yeah, I am happy as far as that aspect too goes. But also, I want more. I think in our previous episodes we talked about time, and I think ever since starting the show with you, I've been more conscious about how much time I'm selling, and I don't like it. So
Right.
so I want to accomplish more, and I want to say, Mike, you inspired me to do a couple other things as well, and we'll get into those projects later. But yeah, so am I happy? Yes, I'm very proud of my accomplishments. Yes. Um, Now, as far as like a legacy, or I said legacy, and you'll see legacy in the description of tonight's episode. When it comes to what message would I leave my kid? And does it have to be one, or can it be like maybe a two-parter? Or I mean, does this
No,
have to be like the end all be all kind of thing?
no, I mean it can be just whatever you feel, whatever information or whatever you want to relay to your children, as not necessarily your last words, but what is something that you would like to leave with them. So when they think about, oh, my dad would have wanted me to do this, or my dad felt this way, what would you leave them? What sort of message would you leave
Okay, all right. Well, the first thing that always pops in my head is hard work pays off.
them?
You
Mm-hmm.
know, don't ask for it, work for it. Um, so that nobody could take it from you. If you work for it and you work hard for it, and I'm not let me not say work hard for it. Let me just say work for it, and you earn it. Nobody could take that from you. Nobody could take away your hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. Now let me replace, and again, starting the show with you. Work smarter, not harder. You know, but work for it, regardless of what it is. If you want it, work hard for it, or work smart for it, and so nobody could take it away from
Right.
you. And then be grateful. I mean, you could work, smart for it, and you could be the man, and you could get all the skills, but be grateful for your journey. Be grateful for your problems. Be grateful for the people around you. Just don't take things for granted because they could be whisked away. If this was my last testament or whatever, tomorrow I could, let's not say those things, but work smarter for it so nobody could take it from you, and be grateful for what you got.
Mm.
That's what I want to leave with them. Be humble, be grateful, and no matter how high you get up on the ladder, if you own the ladder, you own the building, whatever metaphor you want to use, be grateful for it, and remain humble. So that's all I got, Mike. I mean, that was a really good, and I could probably go for days about
Right.
the legacy I want to leave, as far as what I want to be remembered for and what I want my kids to remember me for. But if that was all I had, like 2 minutes, I think that encompasses a lot of what I want my kids to know.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. All right. So what you got? Do you need me to ask the question again to you, or are you ready for it?
Oh, no, no. I mean, it's fine. I got it.
Okay.
As far as the question is concerned, but no, I agree with a lot of the points that you said, especially the humble part. But I'll touch on that in a second. For me, the first part, would I be happy with my life and what I've accomplished? You know, I kind of, I was thinking about this, and people in my circle always tell me I'm like a half empty, I'm a glass half empty kind of dude.
Pessimistic.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll admit it,
Okay. All
I
right.
am. But I am overall, am I happy with my life? Just my overall life? Yeah, I am. Professionally, that's. I mean, I'm no, no. Here's the thing though. Like professionally, I'm grateful. We've touched on this before, both on this as well as just chopping it up, just me and you.
Right.
But yeah, no, no. I mean, I'm definitely blessed. I'm grateful, and I am happy with what I've accomplished. The thing is, you can accomplish a lot, but it might not necessarily be in line with how you envision yourself, maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago.
You
When
evolve.
you're younger, you have all these dreams and aspirations. Oh, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, I'm gonna
Be a
do this,
rapper.
I'm gonna do that. Right, right. But as life kind of goes on, and you don't really have much to blame anybody else except yourself, right, for not making those things happen.
Right.
But yeah, overall I'm happy with my life. I'm happy of the type of person that I am. I try to be considerate. I try to treat people respectfully, and just hope that I get that in return. But as far as again professionally, I don't think that I push myself hard enough. I mean, it's not even I don't think, it's just a matter of fact. I didn't push myself hard enough. I didn't pursue the things that I wanted to pursue when the time was perfect, when I didn't have the responsibilities that I have. Again,
Mhm.
something else that we've touched on before.
Yep. Yep.
So in that respect, no, I'm not really happy with what I've accomplished, um, because I know what I should have been focused on. But at the same time, I am happy that, I've been responsible. I've been able to progress where I'm at as far as my job is concerned and, make some pretty cool moves there. So yeah, I guess I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
It's- when it comes to what message would I leave? Well, I only have one kid, so um, for me, that one is tough because again, there's so much that you would want to say, right? There's
Right.
always oh, treat people with respect, be compassionate. Like you said, be humble. That's so important to me, is to
Right.
be humble. No matter how much money you have, always be humble. Just stay grounded in life. So that would be number one. Um, Also, if you start getting money, don't feel like you need to show it off. You don't need to show it to the world. Just continue to stay focused, make moves, prosper, but you can do it on the low. Nobody, you don't have to just show off to the world. It's not necessary.
Right.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't want her to get nice things and have nice stuff, but it's a difference between like treating yourself and splurging from time to time and just enjoying life versus feeling a need to let everybody know, oh, this is this designer brand, or oh, look at this car I got here, that car, and try to make other people feel less than you. I'm not with that.
Right.
I never
Okay.
want her to be like that. Let me see what else. Oh, this is a really big one for me. Just as far as like success is concerned, I wouldn't want her to let anybody, even including myself, I wouldn't want her to let anybody define what success is to her.
Oh, good.
I'd want her, if she wanted to be something that, maybe didn't make much money or whatever the case is, but she was passionate about it and she was happy about it, I'd want her to know that that's fine. And I would support that 110%. I'd still want her to have a side hustle. I wouldn't want her to be solely dependent on that, but I would want her to follow her passions, follow her dreams, and do what it is that make her happy. Um, Trying to think what else would I really, really want to relay to her? Well, I've already talked about her being an entrepreneur. Like that was
Right.
important to me. I would stress that on her, like, hey, get out there, get your own money. Don't be dependent on anybody, any job, anything that you don't have to be. But again, at the same time, if you do want to do something else that, like she might want to be a teacher, that's
Right.
great. I mean, that's amazing. I would fully support that and be happy for it. At the same time, I would want her to start thinking about, well, what if this happens and you get laid off or this? I would want her to be thinking of a side hustle or have something else where she wouldn't be solely dependent on that.
Right.
So I guess overall, it would be follow your dreams, um, follow your passions, be good at whatever it is that you want to do, but also always, think about what could happen. As good as that job is, it can be taken away from
Right.
So yeah, just kind of watch your back and, always have a plan B.
Okay. Yeah. What you said about the whole success thing. Right. Don't let anybody. I mean, yeah. If I was to tell him, like, if he wants to be an underwater basket weaver, go ahead and make it happen.
Hmm.
I mean, I know people, and we might actually kind of do maybe another whole episode on this one, but I know people that live in trailers, but they're happy. But they don't need to have a super duper high paying job. They don't have any debt, but they've sacrificed material things to not be in debt and to just live life the way they feel, and they just travel. But they live in a trailer.
Right.
You know, So to them, they're successful. Do they make 100 racks? No, they don't. They probably 35, 40,000 a year. But I'd have to say that that measure of success is definitely something like also combines into you saying don't flaunt it, don't make other people less than, because what they think is successful, you might not agree with. And that's cool because that's their life. So
Right.
definitely agree with that whole don't let other people gauge how successful you are. And yeah, so that's good shit right there.
Right on, man. It's about priorities too. Like whatever your life priorities are to you, because you said that they live in a trailer, they travel, and that's great, man. I was watching I forget what channel it was on. I want to say it was like HGTV or something like that, but they were
Yeah.
doing the little tiny house things. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
was sort of a it might have been TLC, but anyway, they were doing a tiny house, this tiny house, that.
Right.
And a lot of people were saying, you think about being free and you think about success, or just having a life that you enjoy. I mean, that can be defined many different ways by many different people. And
Right.
some people are like, oh, I got this 5,000 square foot house, but I'm commuting 2 hours, I'm going to a job I hate, and by the time I get home I'm too tired to even really enjoy it.
Right.
Whereas somebody else, their life is complete opposite of that. They might have their own little business where they might not make that much money, but they got freedom to do
Right.
what they want. Or they do work for somebody else, but they got a job they absolutely love,
Right.
and less commute. And they got all the free time in the world because now I'm 10 minutes away from the house.
Right.
I got the flexibility at my job to work the hours I want to work. And now I can go travel and take time off here, do that. So it's all about what's important to you, what your priorities are, and how you define your happiness.
Oh, I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Let's talk. So speaking on that a little bit, and just kind of going into a different topic, I guess. So we talked about selling time and like the sacrifice, and you just pointed out, somebody's like 10 minutes from their job, they got more time, things like that. Now, let me ask you this because we did just talk about children. What is your take on, uh, you know, and we both should have an opinion on this, I would guess. What is your take on responsibilities of kids? Like at a certain point, you want to be happy, you want to be happy. Now, in your opinion, when kids get entered in, expectedly or planned, how have your responsibilities changed, or how have you seen life change for you?
Oh, wow. um, well, I guess the obvious answer would be that I'm no longer the priority,
Okay. Yeah.
right? All my moves I make thinking about her, really.
Right.
You know, um, it's tough to, and I don't want to say it's tough, but well, yeah, okay, I'll go ahead with that. Yeah, it's tough to be irresponsible, right? If you got a family, if you got kids, that job that you might want to leave, it's sure got a stronger grip on you
Right.
when kids are in play, and benefits and things of that nature.
Right.
So for me, I mean, it automatically forces you to be more responsible, and I believe it automatically forces you to be more focused.
Okay. All right.
And I say that, and I see the look on your face, but no, the reason I say more focus is because now when you do things, it's with more intention. You know,
Right.
it's like take this for example, right? I mean, I would imagine in your mind you want to leave a legacy to your children,
Yes.
whatever that is. I mean, it could be um, uh, I don't know, houses, investments,
Yeah.
just the way they see your work ethic,
Right. Right.
things of that nature, right?
Right. Not always material. I'll say that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But you want to leave some sort of legacy with your children. So when you make moves now, I mean, it's just more focused. It's like I'm doing this because of X, Y, and Z. A lot of motivational speakers, I know, like Eric Thomas. would say it a lot, Gary V, whatever. But, it's like your why. What is your why, right?
Right.
They'll talk about that. And that's important. And when your why is your children, that's a pretty that's a pretty big why.
Right.
That's a pretty big motivational reason to get out in the morning and remain focused and to do something.
Okay. Yeah. I was just gonna ask you about that, like, because we talked about the job having a bigger grip, or going out and getting like a better job or one that had benefits or whatever. But I like how you said like whatever you do. So like if you do plan on, uh, you- I'm kind of laughing myself saying, but if you plan on being a rapper and
Hmm.
you got kids, you really gotta work on your craft and really be focused about what if that's what your choice is,
Right.
because you do have somebody else relying on you as well.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and kind of like what you said with this, like when we do this show, like what is, it's a gateway for us to get into something else. Is there a purpose for doing what we do every week? And for me, exactly what you said, it's about having something else, doing something else, committing to something else, and it is sacrificing time. To whatever this is. I can't say we selling time because ain't nobody getting paid right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there is this focus, this thing. If anything, it's a message. If anything, I want my kids to look back and be like, hey, dad did something with his friend, and they went a couple years with it, and they did this, and this. Let's go back and see how he was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, let's see, what message he had for us then compared to what it is now, compared to what it eventually turned into. So for me, when we talk about legacy, I do want some kind of chronicle. And again, that's why I said I don't want to always leave something material. I mean, because who knows? I may not be able to get those material things in my lifetime, but just that the old saying goes: you give a man a fish, he eat for one day, but you teach him how to fish, he eat many days, right? So if I can't leave him abundance of fish or a boat or something like that, a really nice fishing rod, at least I could leave the knowledge of knowing how to fish. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yep.
and then that obligation thing too. Like for me, just answering my own question, um, it man, my dad was like, look, you don't got no other obligation right now except to your kids. Like you are on the back burner.
Yep.
And it broke my heart. I ain't gonna lie to you. It really, I mean, I knew that sense of duty, that sense of obligation was there, but I wanted to do more creative things. But I had to focus on what was the obligation and make some moves in order to be able to provide benefits and a house and, you know, food and all that stuff. So I lived in a trailer before and I didn't trip. But I think as obviously I got married and my got the family grew, trailer living or small house living, and I personally think small house living is just upclass trailer living in my opinion.
Mm.
but um but yeah, your needs, and I don't even want to know if call your needs. I don't even know if I want to call it that, but you know, will it as my family grew, I needed to make more money. And right now it's needing to sell more time. And it's just like as much as I, want or I feel I need to have something, I need to look back at myself and dial back in to say, okay, what does the family really need? And dial back into that because they really need me. They really need me to be around.
Right. Right.
And to help out with just the daily stuff or just to be around. Show that presence there of that dad, you know. So I got to do something different. And I think you really touched it when you're like, you got to be, if you're going to do something, be focused, go get your job, but do that side hustle. And, for me, that's what this is. That's it's that gateway into something else. It is going to take a little sacrifice of time and effort. Um, But yeah, I totally agree with that. The focus change. The things you do have to have more of a purpose than anything else.
Right. Right. Nah, and yeah, I mean, because again, like you said before in another episode, but it is time you spending on this is taken away from time from your family. But the goal is that this is more of an investment. So it's more of a time investment
Right.
into something that you hope will turn into something more later on.
Right. I mean, it really just saying that reminded me of the conversation we had earlier in the week about you're gonna have to invest a certain amount of time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears, whatever, knowing that the end result is gonna recoup that,
Right.
and that's the focus. Recoup that, and then anything else on top of that is yours. So yeah, I mean, just again, that focus, that drive, when it comes to those kids, yeah, it's a whole lot. The game changes with that.
But see, kind of like what we were saying too, I believe in that same conversation was that right now, it's cool if it's just you, myself, and maybe one person.
And we have 4 subscribers, right? There's 4 of you guys. That one of them is me. I'll say that. Like my other YouTube channel is subscribed to this YouTube channel, but there's 3 other people out there that are subscribed to our channel. So
Well, I said so make that two because I'm pretty sure I subscribe too. So,
oh, okay. Right. Okay. So and you said it there's 2 of you guys out there, and we appreciate you.
but not even with that though. But if nothing else, if it's just talking and having these little conversations once a week helps motivate you and motivate me and maybe at least one other person out there to
Right.
pursue what it is that they want to do and just kind of hold themselves accountable and make some progress, then I feel like, hey, job well done. That's cool with me.
Right. Right. All right. So looks like we kind of got to wind down this episode. I actually didn't keep track, but I'm thinking we're around like the 25-minute mark.
Yeah, I believe.
Um, did you have a timer going or no?
No, I didn't, but
Oh,
I just
yeah.
kind of glanced at the clock when we started, and I think
Uh,
just under 25 minutes. I think.
okay. So looks like we're gonna wrap up this episode. I know on our original topic kind of went into a couple of things, but that's what the show is about. It is about let's start the conversation with something and watch it evolve, and that's where we are in our lives. We're starting off with a nice solid base, maybe not a really solid base, maybe a little rocky base, but we want to push ourselves and talk these things through, and see where it evolves. See where this idea evolves to. Um, you got any questions, comments, or emotional outbursts? You can find us on Twitter. I have to laugh too when I say that, but that's like one of the things I always say. So if you have one of those, follow us on Twitter. It's at Practical Pivot. You can find us on YouTube. Also, obviously, you got here somehow, but look it up, Practical Pivot. You can find us on SeanFlack.com. That has links to this show and then other projects I'm on, which I will do a shameless plug here in a second. Newly, though, on Facebook, there is a Facebook group that is connected to the Sean Flack 2.0 page. So if you have any comments, questions, or whatever, you could don't even, just jump into that group, throw a little question in there, a comment or whatever. So there's multiple ways you can get to us if you have anything you need to say. So again, today's episode was about our life, our quality of life, where we are, what we want, and we want to hear from you. You know, what are some things that you love, or maybe you don't love so much about your life? What are some things when it comes to children? What are messages? Do you agree with us or do you not agree with us? Or do you have something completely different? So go ahead and hit us up on any of those ways. Mike, you got anything to say on that?
No, just as always, just stay focused. Make some sort of progress. Pursue your dreams. We got to appreciate what we have, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure most of us feel like we can always do better and do
Oh,
more. And
yeah.
if you got little ones, uh, do it for them. Do it for them.
Right. I totally agree with that. All right. So for this project and more, you can SeanFlack.com. I'm also doing the Dad's Life podcast. You can find that on Anchor FM. It's also on iTunes where I do talk about kids. I do, and if you listen to any of my episodes, you're probably like, this dude doesn't even like kids. But anyway, go ahead and check that out. Follow me there. Mike's, working on some stuff too. I'm super excited. I can't wait to see, how everything pans out. I am super inspired by you, Mike.
Oh man. Yeah, man, that's both ways, bro. That's both ways. Appreciate that.
So, again, guys, if you guys got anything for us, this is the end of episode 5. And until the next episode, be cool, and we will see you or hear you or talk to you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.